Do you ever feel like that you're just running in place and you want to see some improvements in your life, but they're just not happening? Well, I used to feel that way all the time, and I used to be overcome with anxiety. I had anxiety from my workplace, I had anxiety about money, I had anxiety about my health, I had anxiety about relationships, and I found myself always focusing on negative things instead of what I wanted. And I came across Bob Proctor, of all people, and finding him on YouTube led me to The Secret, and that opened up a whole new world for me. And I started learning about law of attraction and how important it is to focus on what we want and not on what we don't want. And if I could just get across to you how much my life has changed and improved since I started realizing that the thoughts I think create the world I'm living in. And it's so important to choose good thoughts and to focus on what you want and not focus on outcomes that you don't want. Don't give that any energy. Just focus on what you want, no matter what. And that leads me to law of assumption, which is very much like law of attraction. In fact, I think it's the same thing. But there's a man named Neville Goddard, and he has written several books, but he talks about law of assumption. And basically, whatever you want, just assume that it's happened. And if you persist in that belief that it has already happened, it will harden into fact. And I've seen this in my own life. I wanted an increase in the money coming in each month, and I started writing in my gratitude journal, because I have a journal I write in every morning, 10 things at least that I'm happy and grateful for. So I would write the amount of money I wanted to be earning each month, and either I would get a raise or my husband would get a raise. But I always see, when I increase that amount, I always see a match within a very short amount of time. And it just amazes me. And I always write the amount I want to have or more, and it's always more than what I'm writing. And I just start focusing on that. I convince myself that it's true, and it hardens into fact. So what is important is that we've been programmed to believe that we're not in charge of our lives, when in fact, we are the creators of our own reality. Jesus said, when you ask for something, believe that you have received it, and it shall be given to you. And we know it. We know the Bible says that, but then we don't believe it. And so when you want something, believe you have received it, and it shall be given to you. That is law of attraction. That is law of assumption. And I don't know how else to explain it. All you have to do is feel positive, feel happy, have a feeling state of ease, of joy, and of happiness. And that is the feeling state where everything you want in life probably resides. I mean, I'm assuming that everybody watching this wants to be happy. They want an easy life that's joyful, and they help other people, and good things happen to them. That's the kind of life I want for myself. So that's why I feel so compelled to make YouTube videos, because I want everybody to know this. I grew up thinking that life happened to me, and now I see it happens for me. Everything that happens is for my greatest good. There's not a thing in my life. I'm 50 years old, and I can look back over my life, even the most horrendous things that happened. Now I can connect the dots and see that that was the absolute best thing that ever happened. I even had a house foreclosed on because I went through a terrible divorce many years ago. Had a home foreclosed on, and oh my gosh, that was the very best thing that ever happened to me. Even though at the time I cried, I grieved, I felt like a failure, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So everything's always working out for us, and you really have to believe that to see that it is true. So that's the first thing I want to encourage you, is to research and be open to the possibility that everything is always working out for you, because it is. And you just have to be open to the possibility of that. And you'll see that it's true. The universe will prove it to you. And, Jesus said to ask believing we have received, and whatever we have asked for, it will be given to you, right? Ask believing you received, and it shall be given to you. And we know the Bible says that, and yet we'll ask for something and we'll beg for it. We beg for it because we don't believe we've received it. So you just say, hey, I'm so happy and grateful that I have this, and even though you may not see it in the physical, it's already yours as soon as you ask for it. And it is your belief that sort of attracts it to you. That's why it's called law of attraction. Everything is energy, everything is vibration. And so when you believe you have it, it will come to you eventually, one way or another. The universe will move people, circumstances, and events to make whatever you desire be yours. And you may think, yeah, Tabitha, that's easy for you to say, but I'm living proof. When I learned to start focusing on what I want and not on what I don't want, my whole life got better. All my anxiety went away. I used to have anxiety just driving on the interstate. I mean, it was really overwhelming. I take no medicine for anxiety either, which I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying I don't take medicine for anxiety. And I was afraid to drive on the interstate. I had so much anxiety about money. I had so much anxiety. Oh my gosh, I could have never made a YouTube video. What if somebody thought I was dumb? Now I know that you're not going to think I'm dumb because I'm not worried about it and I'm not focused on it. In fact, I'm focused on saying something that helps you and inspires you and helps you realize that your life doesn't have to be drudgery. It can be exciting and fulfilling and happy. And you can have, every morning can be something you look forward to. And I look forward every morning to getting up and writing, what I'm grateful for and welcoming the new day and learning more about the subconscious mind and all the universal laws and how I think and feel and being aware of how I'm feeling and how I'm thinking and redirecting myself when I'm not thinking in the right way. Because I have to redirect myself all the time. Even though I know all these truths, we are human, and sometimes you'll start thinking in a way you shouldn't think. So if you've stayed this long and you're still here, you're my new best friend. So how you doing, new best friend? Please like my video and subscribe because I want to help you. I want to help you use law of attraction, law of assumption, all the universal laws to live the best life you can live because life is so good. It is so good. And I just really appreciate you watching. And thank you so much for being here.